When I was young, I really didn't like visiting my grandparents' old town, but we had to go there every year for the holidays because my dad worked in the military. When I turned 16, my mom gave me the phone, and my grandma said she was waiting for me with a birthday party ready. I immediately wanted to say no, but my dad already agreed that we would go the next day. I wasn't excited at all about the trip because I disliked the place. Whenever we visited, I felt like everyone was secretly watching me, and sometimes my grandparents' behavior seemed strange. When I was just 5 years old, I saw my grandpa drinking blood from a goat after sacrificing it. When he noticed me, he quickly pushed me back into the house. I told my parents about it, but no one seemed to care or pay attention to what I said. Since then, I've made sure to avoid spending too much time around my grandpa. During the visit, everyone warmly welcomed us, and my grandma had prepared a grand feast for my birthday. The celebrations began with her giving me lots of presents and singing a sweet birthday song while my grandpa played the piano. It was a nice gesture, but something felt off about the atmosphere. When it was time to cut the cake, suddenly the lights went out, and the room was dimly lit by 16 candles. I couldn't shake the feeling of unease. Everyone gathered around me in a circle, wearing cone hats on their heads, and sang the happy birthday song again. The piano's tune sounded eerie, sending shivers down my spine, and I struggled to focus on the cake with that creepy music playing. After blowing out the candles and cutting the cake, things took a strange turn. Everyone started moving in a circle around me, including my parents, and they began chanting words I couldn't understand in another language. Confused and concerned, I stood up to try to make sense of the situation, but before I could react, something hit my head, and a bright light appeared from the ceiling. The next thing I knew, I had passed out. When I woke up, I found myself in a different room, lying on a bed. The events leading up to my fainting were a blur, and I couldn't comprehend what had just happened. Later, I mustered the courage to ask my mom about the strange events from the birthday celebration. She assured me that they were just praying, but it didn't feel like any prayer I had ever seen before. It seemed more like a ritual, and that made me even more uneasy. The following morning, as I woke up and went to my room, I found my aunt there, hanging a black gown on the closet door. She explained that it was for me to wear that evening. The gown was quite unique, with an inverted star embroidered in the middle. It gave me an odd feeling, and I couldn't shake the sense that there was something more to it than just an ordinary dress. As the day went on, I couldn't help but wonder what the evening had in store for me and what other peculiarities I might encounter in my grandparents' town. As the day turned into night, everyone was busy preparing for the festival. However, as I wandered around the field where the celebration would take place, I stumbled upon something bizarre and disturbing. My grandma and grandpa were placing a ram's head on a table at the center of the field, and blood was still dripping from it. The sight made me feel sick to my stomach, and I immediately felt the urge to leave. I mustered the courage to approach my mom and express my discomfort, asking if we could go home. But instead of understanding, she reacted angrily, slapping me hard and calling me an ungrateful person. She scolded me for not appreciating the efforts everyone had made for the festival, which, to my surprise, seemed to be arranged for me. However, I couldn't understand why such a disturbing ritual involving an animal's head was necessary for my celebration. As night fell, the field was illuminated by large lamps and torches. A group of silent girls rushed into my room and dressed me in the black gown with the inverted star. They braided my hair and applied eerie makeup to my face, all without uttering a single word. Then, they led me out of the room, and I received a kiss on the forehead from my mother, who whispered, "May this sacrifice be accepted by our Lord." It was at that moment I realized the horrifying truth. My family and everyone else in the town were part of a cult. My grandpa took the stage and began chanting while the crowd gathered around, eagerly awaiting the ritual. He spoke about his lord, Behemoth, and how the deity demanded the flesh of a young maiden from their inner circle in exchange for eternal wealth and fortune. it dawned on me that they intended to offer me as the sacrificial damsel. With terror gripping my heart, my dad forcefully pulled me into the center of the field. The townspeople formed a ring around me, and even young children were handed knives. Chanting a haunting hymn, they closed in, and the children, with blank expressions on their faces, began stabbing me. The pain was unbearable, and my desperate screams for help fell on deaf ears as no one made any attempt to stop the gruesome ritual. In the midst of chaos and agony, I saw a light emerging from the dark sky. It kept on growing and spreading as if a portal had opened, and after a while, a translucent entity emerged from it. Everyone started reciting the hymn loudly and kept on repeating, "We surrender, Behemoth." My grandma instantly took out a knife and in a split second sliced my grandpa's neck. I screamed with terror at the murder, but no one seemed to care. The entity entered the dead body and put the goat's head on its head. He then sat on the high chair and demanded for me. I was quickly brought to him by a group of girls, blood leaking from every inch of my body. The entity was horrifying. I did not know much about cults, but I knew he was a demon. He held my neck and started choking me. That's when my eyes opened. I was sweating, and on my bed, suddenly the door opened and my aunt came in with a black gown with a star embroidered on it. I screamed loud after seeing it, but without hesitation, I got out of bed and took my parents' car keys and started the car. My grandma and grandpa came running to stop me, but it was too late. I was going to go far away from these animals and report them. I sped as fast as I could, determined to reach the police station. It took me 2 hours of driving to finally arrive at the county's police station. The police gave no attention to me, so I had no choice but to run away. It's been 10 years to that haunting day, and although I sacrificed my life with my family, I don't miss them or want them to ever find me again.